All right. Welcome, everyone. I'll wait a few seconds as everyone's able to join today. Warm greetings from Indianapolis, Indiana. We are so excited to have our monthly webinar series inside IU Global Indy today with our wonderful colleagues in the School of Science. This is such a great chance for us to highlight different programs and opportunities for students coming to study at Indiana University, Indianapolis. We are going to kick things off first with a few housekeeping reminders. For those of you joining us today live, please know that we have the chat. Please feel free to drop where you're listening in from, what program you're interested in studying, and any questions you might have for our speakers later on during our Q&A session. I'll also be dropping links in the chat for you to stay connected with us, because we hope you do. We'd love to hear from you after the call. We'd love to share more details about our programs here at IU Indianapolis and stay connected. We will kick things off with a brief intro to IU Indianapolis today. I'll hand it over to our speakers after that to share more about their areas of focus and some really strong and unique and exciting programs within the School of Science. And then we'll have time for questions from you. So again, thanks everyone for joining us today. We're so happy that we can connect with you all. So as we wait for a few more folks to join, I do want to just start by saying thank you. We know that there's a lot of information about various universities, and we're so glad that you can join to learn more about ours, Indiana University, Indianapolis. We really are a great fit for students who are looking for more of that urban research campus vibe. We are located right in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, and IU Indianapolis students have a unique and wonderful opportunity to make the city your campus. As an R1 premier research institution, we are very proud of our research opportunities and multiple ways where you can join, get connected within your department, within the campus, and also within the wonderful amenities in the city of Indianapolis. So we are a large public research university with more than 100 majors for students to choose from, including a wide variety of combinations where many students can have a double major or select a major and a minor. We do welcome, and we're so proud and excited to welcome more than 1,000 international students from more than 100 countries around the world. Students joining IU Indianapolis have the chance to be part of our community, but still get that smaller faculty to student ratio of 1 to 13. So that means faculty will get to know you. They'll be able to know your name and support you along your academic journey. I also love to share to applicants and students interested in our campus more info about many ways you can get involved with more than 400 student organizations, clubs, professional societies, ways to join our intramural sports teams, and more. There's always a place for you at IU Indianapolis. As I mentioned before, our location is a big benefit for us. Indianapolis is the state capital of Indiana, located in the Midwest, pretty close to Chicago, and about an hour away from Indiana University, Bloomington. The city is home to just shy of 1 million residents, and there are going to be many ways for students to get involved and still have easy access to other cities across the US. Here's a short list of some of the areas that we excel in academically here at IU Indianapolis. And we, again, would encourage you to stay connected, reach out to email us or connect with us after the call. We'd love to share more details about program-specific questions you might have. But of course, some of the areas we're most well known for include business, health and human science, technology, sustainability. In fact, we're very proud of our ranking, actually top 10% globally with implementing the UN Sustainable Development Goals. As I mentioned before, our location is our advantage for students. Not only can you be supported and for great internships while you study. Just steps away, we have the Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Headquarters, for example, but some of the wonderful options for graduates looking for jobs after they finish their program are listed here. IU Indianapolis does have merit scholarships available for international students applying to our campus. Please know that our next intake for merit scholarships will be fall 27, and the deadline is February 15th. There are no extra steps to be considered. So if you apply to IU Indianapolis, you will be considered for a merit scholarship. Typically, the threshold is 3.0 and higher on the US grading scale for undergraduate first-time freshmen. We have the Honors College scholarships and competitive scholarship opportunities as well for bachelor students. We do suggest applying on or around December 15th so that you can meet the March 1st deadline for those competitive scholarships. Again, more details are on our website and link in bio. I'll share that in just a moment. To apply to IU Indianapolis, we do need the application for undergraduate students, and we are a Common App school. There's a $65 application fee. You will need to submit your academic records and potentially one way to show proof of English, that we offer a wide variety, including Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, high school curriculum, SAT, etc. Otherwise, please know we are completely test optional and SAT scores are not needed to apply. Here's a timeline for students interested in undergraduate or bachelor programs. If you're thinking about applying as a transfer student, that is also possible. Please know that June 1st is the deadline for transfer students starting in August for our fall intake. For any graduate students on the call today, admissions decisions are going to be made at the department level at IU Indianapolis. So we want to serve as a connection point and get you connected to the department team as quickly and efficiently as possible. So please reach out to us, and the department will be the best resource for questions about materials to submit, timeline, financial support, and more. We can't wait to hear from you. For any questions, please do email us at iapply@iu.edu. And here's a link in bio. I'll pull this up later and drop this in the chat. But thanks for listening to an intro to IU Indianapolis. And now it is my great honor to welcome Dr. Samuel Narco and Martin Jesa to the call today. We are so pleased to be able to collaborate with you both, and wanted to extend a warm welcome from the international admissions team at IU Indy. I know I'm really excited to hear about the content. I get so many questions about the School of Science as I'm on the road. And so thank you both for joining us this morning. And thank you for your time. Over to you both right now.
Do I need to reshare my screen?
And I have it pulled up.
Oh, awesome.
Here we go. All set.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. And, good morning from here. And good afternoon, good night, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you are. I'm Dr. Samuel Nyako. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences of the School of Science here at IU Indy. And today I'm going to introduce you to what we do in the School of Science. I can see a question in the chat already. What makes us unique from other School of Sciences? So that's what we're going to talk about today. I have here with graduate student Martin, who is also president for one of the affinity groups on campus, and he's going to tell you more about his experience later in the talk. All right, so IU Indianapolis, just as Leslie mentioned earlier on, we are one of the core campus of Indiana University. We are located downtown Indianapolis. Those of you who are not familiar with downtown is like the business district, right, of a city. That's how we call it here in the US, but in other jurisdictions, I know we call it business centers or business districts. So we're located in the downtown of Indianapolis, right in the heart of the United States. So as you can see from the map, we are in the Midwest, and the state is called the Crossroads of America because apparently we have almost all the highways in the US, all the major interstate highways crossing through Indiana. So we have the nickname Crossroads of America. So why IU Indianapolis? Midwestern hospitality, very, very friendly people, very good people, very diverse culture, and it's very lower, 10% than the national average when it comes to cost of living. And if you are a fan of race and amateur sport like car racing, this is the car racing capital of the world. Indianapolis, we have a very huge car racing facility here. The Indy 500 is, a common race that car enthusiasts are very happy about. And then we are also home of many professional sports teams like the Indianapolis Colts, very good football team. And then the Pacers. The Pacers played in the finals of the NBA last year. Unfortunately, we lost to the Oklahoma Thunders. But yeah, we had a really good run. It was a really good moment for the city, and then home of the Indy 11 soccer team, and then lots of museums. Actually, we have the largest children museum in the world right here in Indianapolis, as you can see in the image on my right. So it's a very busy and a very serene environment for learning as well. And then IU Indianapolis is Indiana's premier urban research university. So we kind of the main, urban R1 Institute here in Indiana. All the health schools, I hope you've heard a lot about IU Health. All those schools are based here on the IU Indianapolis campus. And Indianapolis, just as Leslie mentioned earlier, is the capital of Indiana. And we have very strong rankings globally and nationally as well. Here in the US, we ranked number 5 in sustainability, which is a really good ranking for a campus like us, which is found in the middle of a city. And then we have about 25,000 plus students here representing over 100 countries. I am originally from Ghana, so Ghana is definitely representing here. We offer about 394 degree and certificate programs and 17 degree granting schools. We get over 50 million in research funding almost every year, and then 2,000 grants awarded annually. We have 56 research centers and institutes, so that kind of tells you how big the university is. So let's now get into the School of Science. So the School of Science is one of the biggest, or I would say, one of the biggest schools on campus. It has 6 departments and 2 programs. So the School of Science houses the biology, chemistry, and chemical biology, earth and environmental sciences, mathematical sciences, which has computational data science under it, and then physics, psychology, and BS, MS in forensic science, and then a BS only in neuroscience. You should know that for all the other courses, we offer MS, BS, and PhD degrees. So the building here is the School of Science building, right? Very beautiful building, and you can see behind it is downtown Indianapolis, where you have all the high-rise buildings. We are top 5 nationally ranked for life science employment, according to BioSpeak and BioCrossroads. 87% of 2021 grads were employed or enrolled in continuing education within 6 months. That is a really good turnaround, time for getting employment after graduation. And then we have about 3,000 students and about 455 grad students, 221 international grad students, and 61% female students. So that is a really unique number for us at a time that not a lot of females, get opportunity to do the science. 61% of our students being female is a really, really good one for us. And then we receive almost $11 million in research funding almost every year. And then 60% faculty have research awards at a point in time. So that tells you how we value research and, getting money to sponsor our students here. All right, so in November 2024, for example, we submitted about 13 million worth of grants. And then by November, we had received about 6 awards. Just in November 2024, we received 6 awards. And then the year-to-date funding, so from 2024-2025, we received 33 awards, 7.3 million as primary awards, and then 890,000 in secondary awards. These were 4 hours for the secondary awards. So again, the research productivity of the school. So let's get into the department bit by bit. So first, the Department of Biology. This is their website if you want to take a screenshot and then check them out later on. And then that is their contact, whom to contact. The address is supposed to be biograd@iu.edu. So take note of that. So biology offers 3 BS pathways: BS in biology, BA biology, and BS biotechnology. And then they have an MS biology with thesis option. And then they have a pre-professional MS, which is a non-thesis option, and then also a PhD in biology. Most of the students from the biology department go into biotech, pharma, health sciences, medical, and dental schools. And if you look at the biology department for an undergrad, for a fresh undergraduate, the salary ranges from $54,000 to $80,000 a year, which is a really good livable salary for an undergraduate. There are 16 tenure track faculty in this department and then 7 teaching faculty. So in total, there are about 23 faculty in this department. And then they have state-of-the-art biomedical research labs, one of the biggest in the country. They have plant biology labs and then a very huge greenhouse house, right? Greenhouse that, they store a lot of this eco and sustainability kind of materials over there. And then there are 11 biology teaching labs in the School of Biology. So again, in IU Indianapolis, we are very unique in combining teaching with research. So we have research labs to do teaching as well. There are about over 600 undergraduate majors, and then the program is ranked 49, right? It's national ranked 49 among graduate students. Funding details, mostly we get funding from the National Institute of Health, the National Science Foundation, DAPA, NIJ, the National Geographic, and then from industry as well, for example, in Lilly. There are 22 million plus in funding in the past 5 years and over 50 publications in 2021 alone. So that tells you the productivity of faculty in this department. Now, there are some 3 research areas. So neuroscience research, where they mostly concentrate on sensory neurobiology, developmental neurobiology, epilepsy, and then neuroregeneration and hydrocephalus. So we have very good faculty here doing research in these areas. And then you also have the forensic and genomics research lab that looks at genotype-phenotype correlations in insects, understanding of genes, and cheliopathy, genetic disorders. So there are so many grants or sponsored projects in the department. We have the ciliary MCHR1 signaling, feeding behavior, and obesity. That funding is provided by the National Institute of Health. And then pharmacotherapies for the treatment of hydrocephalus is also a project that is funded by the Department of Defense. And then inflammation in diabetic retinopathy and elucidating the role of protein, which are NSF-funded projects. So a lot of research goes on in the biology department, in addition to the teaching that you are going to get. Now, chemistry and chemical biology. For chemists, they have the highest employment rate. About 97 to 98% of chemists get employed right after graduation, and this is even expected to grow by 6.2% more between now and 2032. The median salary for a bachelor level chemistry is $87,000, and then for an MS and for PhD, it's about $116,000. And so if you look at some of these stuffs here about chemists and then how much they offer to the U.S. economy. If you look at the chemical industry alone, yearly they provide about $633 billion to the U.S. economy, which is really great to see. They have 4 academic programs: the ACS certified BS in chemistry, and then the ACS certified BS in environmental chemistry and medicinal chemistry. And then they also offer BS in biochemistry and then a BA in chemistry. And then they offer both a thesis and non-thesis master's options. Now, a lot of master's students here work with local industries like Eli Lilly and then Cordova and then Heritage. These are giant chemical companies here in the US, and we are fortunate to have them with us here in Indianapolis. So a lot of our students do research with them and then intern with them as well. And then they have a PhD in chemistry. So if you're looking at going into industry or academia with further degrees, then you take the PhD in chemistry. There are 12 faculty in the department with some additional teaching faculty. Their research strength is in analytical chemistry, nanochemistry, and then biological chemistry. They have about 300 undergraduate students, 38 grad students, and then funding, just as biology, from the National Science Foundation, the Institute of Health, Institute of Justice, and then Department of Defense. And they support research in analytical chemistry and chemistry biology interface. So that is why they have the chemical biology as part of the department name. So as you can see here, these are the research areas. So for example, in computational and bio or inorganic or bioanalytic or bioorganic or biophysical research areas. So the 2 major research areas are detection of analytes and chemical measurements, and then chemical biological interface, which has become a really huge research field in the sciences now. And then forensic science used to be part of the department, but they are, I believe, now under a different department. And then let's come to my department, the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences. That is our website. And then if you want to contact us, geology@iu.edu. Remember, the fact that you see geology doesn't mean we offer only geology. We also offer environmental sciences, as you can see here. So we offer 3 bachelor's degrees, 1 in geology, and then a BA in geology, and then BS in environmental science. So within the geology, there are still tracks where you can take geochemistry or a minor in climate sciences. And then we have an MS geology program and then a PhD in applied earth sciences. Usually for our bachelor to MS degree, salary is between 45 to 80K, just like the biologist. We have 13 faculty here, about, I think, 10 tenure track and 3 teaching faculty. Our research strengths are in geochemistry, environment and human health, and in geoscience education. And then we have a lot of labs here in our department. We have the SCM lab, we have the XRD, ICP, and several other labs. And then the Earth and Environmental Sciences Education Research Lab, which I am the PI for. We have about 100 undergraduate majors in geology and environmental science and about 30 graduate students in geology and the applied earth science programs. Our funding mostly comes from the National Science Foundation, NASA, the Department of Agriculture, and then we support research in petrology, geochemistry, hydrology, and climate change. So for petrology, we mostly look at fluid flow associated with subduction and continental collision. And then we also investigate ion isotope fractionation during partial melting. And then we also do research in the interface of geochemistry and human impact, and then preparing for environmental change. And then also research in the area of hydrology and climate change. So how is climate change affecting water quality, and then water resources? And then we also do soil biogeochemistry research, and together with other education research. So if you are the field type, you are the outdoor fun type, then the earth and environmental sciences it's your home. Or if you want to save the planet, right? If you want to save the earth, then Earth and Environmental Sciences program will be a best fit for you. Now to the mathematicians, right? So if you want to contact them, askmath@iu.edu. If you go to their website, which I will encourage you to do, you find a lot of the information that I am giving to you here from over there. So they offer about 6 degree programs: BS in Actuarial Science and BS in Applied Statistics. They also offer BS Applied Math and Pure Math, and then BS Mathematics Teaching. So if you're interested in teaching math during education, then they have a really strong math education program for you. And then they offer MS in Mathematical Sciences with concentration in Applied Statistics and Math. And then they also offer Pure Mathematics and Mathematics Teaching at the master's level, and then Computational Data Science, and then also PhD Biostatistics, and then PhD Mathematical Sciences with concentration in Applied Statistics, Applied Math, Pure Math, and Teaching Mathematics. This is one of the biggest departments in the School of Science with our 24 tenure track professors when it comes to faculty, and then 3 research or clinical professors. They have about 74 undergraduate students, 24 master students, and then a very big PhD program, 31 PhD students, making their department very unique when it comes to PhD student to faculty ratio being 1:1. And then they also receive funding from NSF, NIH, and Simmons Foundation grants. Currently, they have 14 NSF grants, which is really good, big for a department, 1 NIH, and then 6 Simmons Foundation grants. So these are the various research areas. If you're interested in mathematical physics, that's integrable systems, asymptotic analysis, quantum groups, way up to sequential analysis, then I would say that the math department will be a very good fit for you. These are some faculty within the department. I know a couple of them, but not all of them. Very good faculty as well. All right, then to the Department of Physics. If you want to contact them, rdeka@iu.edu. I believe Deka is the departmental chair, and their website link is also there. So they offer BS Physics, BS with biophysics concentration, MS Physics, and PhD Physics, and then they have a minor in astronomy. They have 2+2 or other dual degree programs where the kind of collaborate with other departments to offer degree programs with the 2+2, taking 2 years in that department and then coming here to take 2 years. And then they have a graduate student and faculty exchange program as well. For BS salaries, mostly 50 to 75,000, and then PhD between 90 to 130,000. They have 15 faculty members, and then so 10 are researchers. So I would say 10 are tenured or tenure track professors, and then 5 are very teaching focused faculty. They have over 650 meters square of laboratory space, with a lot of almost all the physics experimental tools, right? Here, the NMR, and then the EPR spectrometers. They have the UHV deposition, SEM, optical instrument transport, and scan probe microscopies. They have about 40 BS students, 4 MS students, and then 25 PhD students. So PhD and BS tends to be their popular programs. And then they all receive funding from the NSF, NIH, NRC, ONR, and then the Barrows Wellcome, and then the DJ Angus Scientech. Research areas, so they look at condensed matter and biophysics, so basically materials, right? The physics of materials, and then quantum materials. And then they also do biophysics, where they look at biological membranes and then biomaterials, and then optical, nonlinear optics, and then quantum photonics, and then high precision measurements of G, that is gravity, and then experiments to probe beyond the standardized models. And then they also do physics education research, which is one of their flagship research programs led by Andy Gavin, who used to be the chair of that department. And it's a really good program that they've been able to, really kind of make their computational curriculum very, very strong, and their students are getting a lot of success from that. I would say that is a really, really institutional transformation grant that they've gotten over there. And then psychology, contact J.R. Wellham at iu.edu. And they offer BS in psychology and then a BA in psychology, and then BS in neuroscience, MS in industrial and organizational psychology, which is non-thesis, so you don't have to do thesis, and then PhD in clinical psychology and PhD in addiction neuroscience. They have 25 faculty across the 4 programs: PhD, clinical psychology, addiction neuroscience, and then in the MS in industrial organization. It is one of the biggest when it comes to undergrad students. They have about 650, 182 neuroscience students, and then 4 master students in psychology, and then 52 PhD students, which is really a huge number. Funding details, they get most of their funding from the National Institute of Health, the National Science Foundation, IU Addictions Grant Challenge. So for clinical psychology, they basically look at integration of emotional state in substance abuse. So if you're someone interested in researching substance abuse and its emotional, stress on people, this is a good program for you. And then they also look at biopsychosocial aspects of pain and functioning, and then psychosocial factors on health outcomes. And then the biggest program in terms of research is the Addiction Neuroscience Project, which looks at sex differences in the neurobiological effect of stress and alcohol, and then basis of cognition in addiction and schizophrenia. And then they also do brain and behavioral impact research prior and prior drug and heavy metal exposure. And then the new baby, forensic science. This program started quite recently. It's a BS in forensic and investigative sciences. So if you are someone who is interested in working like a smoking gun, right? Working without any major evidence, then forensic and investigative sciences will be a good, really, really good program for you. They have both a thesis and non-thesis MS in their program, with an average starting salary of about $60,000 per year. And then they are also working on a BS and maybe an MS in digital forensics. So be looking out for this program. They have 4 tenured and tenure track faculty and 3 lecturers, and they have a forensic biology lab. They have a forensic microscopy lab, a forensic chemistry lab, and then their forensic investigative sciences program is a FEPAC accredited program. So it's, their students get accreditation to work in the United States through the Forensic Society program. And then they have 20 MS students and about 260 BS students. They get funding from all over the United States government, including the Department of Justice, the National Science Foundation, Institute of Health, the Defense, the DOD, and then the National Geographic Society. So research areas mostly concentrate on human physical appearance and ancestry prediction based on DNA. So if you want to know about your DNA and where you're from, Dr. Walsh is a person to go to. I went there once and I really liked her lab and what she does. And then they also look at explosive and other trace evidence. They look at forensic entomology and then drug analysis and toxicology. And then the neuroscience program here at IU, basically they have an BS in neuroscience with courses in biology, chemistry, psychology, statistics, and neuroscience. And then they also have a double major, right, where you can major in neuroscience and biology, neuroscience and psychology, neuroscience and mathematics, or neuroscience and artificial intelligence. They have 18 faculty across the three departments. So they have faculty from biology, math, and then psychology. They have approximately 215 majors. Over 70% are pre-medical students, so students who want to go into medical sciences. And then they mostly get funding from the NIH and then the National Science Foundation. And, getting into this program can get you careers in medicine or research, pharmacy, biotech, therapy, private foundations, and then government agencies. And then their starting salary is from about 50,000 a year, and it gets higher with graduate or professional degrees. All right, research areas here includes addiction neuroscience, developmental neuroscience, computational neuroscience. And, they have a lot of sponsored projects that is going on, one of which is the modeling impact of early life environmental condition environment. So basically looking at early life, prior to, the current warm age, right? What used to be the environment. And then they look at conditions on drug intake, diabetes in eye function, hydrocephalus, center on genetic determinants of alcohol, and ingestion and responses to alcohol. So these are the 6 major departments that we have in the School of Science. And just to let you know, together with these programs, we also have a lot of minors within the School of Science. So the reason is that for most of our PhD students, they need to take a minor in addition to the normal PhD programs that they're taking. So we have them take minor programs. One is the Science Education Research minor. So if you are interested in, learning more about STEM education, looking at how people learn, looking at, the various theories in learning and how they are applied in science, you can take that minor program as well. And then there are a lot teaching in psychology and then chemistry, isotope geochemistry here in the Earth and Environmental Sciences department. So there are very wide variety of options for you. And then when it comes to faculty and student interaction, very good faculty. All our faculty are, well-known faculty, very good in the research that they do. We have faculty winning national awards, winning, international awards here in our School of Science every week, or let me say every semester, we get, people getting awards from the School of Science. Publication is very high. We are very productive. There are over 200 research labs in the School of Science alone, and faculty are very, very, very active in research. And one unique thing, again, about the School of Science is how we combine research and teaching. So we don't just teach you, we teach you based on empirical and research evidence. So just to let you know, we are a really, really good school, very different from the others in our capability with research and teaching. So I will end here, and then Martin will take over, and then I believe we will come to questions later on.
Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. So I'm here to share my experience as a grad student here in Indianapolis, that is Indiana University. So I got into this program basically by reaching out to Dr. Sami, who is my PI, and it has been a great experience from there. So it was based on my interest in geoscience education and everything. So I actually met him on Twitter. So always I tell people that you can use your social media as a platform to reach out to people and use it for a good purpose. So your social media is not just for entertainment, but it's for something that could help you advance in your career. So these are some of the things that you can put in your mind whenever you're looking for opportunities like this. So with my experience being here in IU, it has been one that has been very integral to my development. I have had the opportunity to interact with several lecturers or several faculty staff. And IU has been very welcoming, especially where we find ourselves in. You realize that most of the people are looking out for your well-being, always reaching out to you to make sure that you are doing well. So being an international student brings a lot of like would I say sometimes you have to remember your family, you are far away from your family, and you have to build a new community by yourself. So if you have people who are welcoming, or if you have people who appreciate you whilst you are here, it makes the journey much easier for you. So being here has been really surreal, and I've come to meet a lot of people who have always supported me one way or the other. And also being in the Earth Environmental Science department, I must say most all the faculty are very approachable and very good in whatever they do. Just as Dr. Sami mentioned, we have faculty members who are always receiving awards and doing great research of impact. So I recommend IU to you. You should definitely apply if you are interested. And as undergrads as well, you have several opportunities to engage yourself in research. So I see someone asking that question. So you would have the opportunity to engage in research as early as possible as you can, because there are several opportunities. That is the IRP first year in research programs and all that. So these are some of the opportunities that you can make good use of. And because we are located downtown, we so in case you miss your food from your home or whatever, there are international shops or African shops that you can actually go and get whatever that you want, and that makes it much better. Maybe you may not be able to prepare it as much as you like it, but I think it would be close to what you want. So always you should have that in mind, that there's some kind of food that you would always be able to rely on. And you'd also need to engage yourself on in campus activities. So when you come here, to be able to enjoy the campus and to build a community that you cherish, I would encourage you to join student organizations. So just as Leslie said, I am part of a student organization body over here, that is Up and Go, underrepresented graduate and professional students. So over there, we organize various programs where we bring all students from different locations to share their experience and to encourage each other. So we try to learn how we do our research and to take advice from our colleagues as well, just to make the journey much easier. So make sure you join some of these student organizations, and always to know the kind of organizations that we have. We have this website called the Spot. So when you enter the Spot, you'd see most of the student organization bodies and what they actually do, to see if they suit your preference of what a student organization body stands for. So always make sure you do that before you join a student organization body. And I know they have a lot of things to offer and to help you in your research or to help you in your studies. So basically, these are some of the things that I'll say, and we would move on to the questions in case we have anything that I can share my experience based on the questions that we have.
Yeah, Iman. Yeah, so asking about research opportunities, paid or for credit. Yeah, so both. We have the one RIP Martin talked about earlier on. That's the first year research immersion program. It's a campus-wide program to get first-year students in their very first semester into research. So what they do is that they give you opportunity to apply to research labs that you want to work with, and they pay for one credit for you, and then I believe they give some, is it 2,000 or so scholarship to students as well. And then we also have the undergraduate research opportunities where you can work with faculty and then do a research and work for 10 hours a week. And then you can also register for a credit, right, with that Europe program as well. There are so many of them, like the community engaged associate. If you are interested in working in the community and doing community research, you can have that as well. So there are a lot of research opportunities, and faculty are always looking for undergraduates to work with, especially in the summer, to give some research opportunity and then also pay them.
Wonderful. Jumping in really quickly, just to say a big thank you, Dr. Nariko and Martin, thank you so much for all of this great information about the School of Science. I know when my colleagues and I are out on the road meeting with international students in Ethiopia, just got back from Pakistan, Brazil, all over the world, we are getting questions and so much interest about the School of Science program. So this is wonderful to be able to hear straight from the folks in the department today. As we kind of transition and keep going with questions, everyone on the call, please drop any questions for our speakers in the chat. I'll keep an eye out there. And thanks, Iman, and everyone who's already dropped questions in there. We appreciate you. Glad you're here today. I would like to ask you both if you could please share a little bit more about how you collaborate in the Earth Sciences Education Research Lab. And just what are you working on? What opportunities are there for students listening in? I think they'd love to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, so for me, usually, I have collaborators both, in IU and then outside of IU, and I am constantly, almost all the time, looking for students to work with or bring into my lab, because what I do has to do with students. So I believe that students should be involved, should also be involved in whatever I do. So I try to always have students in my lab, and I have about 4 current projects that I am working on. So the first one is I kind of look at how we use teamwork, collaboration effectively in learning in the geosciences. So how can we make sure that the teams we are working in is effective, because it's an important workforce skill. If you look at almost all job advertisement, they want you to have some sort of teamwork competencies, right? So try to research. But I also look at climate change education, specifically in Africa. I have a current project that I'm coming to Ghana this May to organize workshop for teachers on climate change and health impact. So that's another research project that I'm working on. We just had a paper published on climate change knowledge of university students in Ghana across 8 institutions. So very, very productive research area. And then I also look at inclusive practices. So how can we develop inclusive departments and bring inclusive practices into our teaching and learning as well. And then the last one, which is the nature of geoscience research, that is Martin's MS work. So if Martin, you want to talk briefly about that.
Okay. All right. So with the nature of science, we simply look at how scientists or geoscientists actually develop their knowledge, and how it's like the intricacies that actually goes into what we know. So, for example, we know that scientific knowledge can be tentative. It's not always like it's not constant. It can change based on the evidences that comes up or advancement in technology, and it's also being a human endeavor. So just as Sami said, teamwork is a very important aspect of science, and whenever we are developing our knowledge, we know that the peer review aspect is also very important, and the environment or the community that you find yourself in also kind of affects the way that you conduct your research. So we try to look at several ways in which we do our science and what actually affects the science that we do. So that is what we try to do in the nature of science. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I love to hear that collaboration piece. I think that's emphasized across campus, but especially as the different opportunities in the School of Science are being mentioned, it's essential, isn't it? Speaking of, I do see another question from Aman. What kind of real world projects have students worked on recently? I love that question. That comes up quite a bit when we're talking with folks thinking about applying to IU Indy. That could also be maybe any exciting internship opportunities you heard about. Has anyone interned for NASA or in the state of Indiana? So what comes to mind with that question?
Yeah, so yeah, we have students working all over the United States on real world projects, and even not only with external or industries, but within the university as well. Almost all the projects we have here are real world projects. So even if you are interning in a lab, if you're working with a faculty in a lab, you are practicing you're working on a real world project. But the few that I know is most of our students go to Eli Lilly to work. Eli Lilly is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies. Some of them go to national labs to work on projects. In my department, we have a student who is on a NASA funded grants. Alejandra working on with NASA. We have students all over the place. Martin did an internship with the museum over here, and then other places. So there are so many opportunities that are uncountable, and then there is actually an opportunity to do it as well, as we encourage a lot of our students to take these internship opportunities in the summer.
All right. So to also add to this, I actually happen to teach one student who got an internship with NASA. That is the Lucy project. And that was very good to know that he got in that program. It's a very competitive program in which he got, and I was so happy to know about that. So just as Sammy said, there are various opportunities that you can get into depending on the kind of research or the kind of work that you do. So there are people working on lead. There are people working on heavy metals contamination, which are real world project problems that they are trying to solve. And with the biology and physics department, I know people working on Alzheimer's disease and all kind of things that actually affect us. So I believe every research that is happening in all the various research labs are actually real world projects that have impact on us directly. So yeah, that is something you must know.
And such a great question too, because it's not just the 4 years of your bachelor program or about 2 years for your master's program. It's what comes after that too, and how can you maximize your time at IU Indy along the way. Let's see, we have about 8 minutes left. There's another question. I think you've mentioned a few, but what other jobs come to mind after graduation for students? What other opportunities are out there?
Yeah, so there are opportunities in both industry and government work. So for our department, majority of the students go into environmental consulting. So they work with environmental consulting firms around, and then a lot of them go into the federal job as well. So we have students with IDEM, we have students with the Department of Health. We have students who are in mining, oil and gas, who are in industries outside of Indiana. But the good thing with IU and especially the School of Science is that the idea is to train students for the community, for the Indiana jobs. So a lot of our students also get the opportunity to stay in Indiana and then work with Indiana firms as well. But yeah, students mostly go into industry or into federal and government jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just putting in a plug for Indiana University, proud to have the largest living global alumni network in the world right now, which is pretty exciting. So whether it's through an IU Gateway office around the world or through our alumni chapters, there are also great ways to stay connected network, build out your community around the world. Martin, back to you really fast about your experience. Can you maybe dive a little deeper into the organization you mentioned? I think you're president at the moment.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you support students, and how can students build that community at IU Indy?
All right. So that's a great question. So in terms of the student organization body, using the one I am in, for example, what we do is that we have monthly programs where we come together as students, share our experiences and our challenges with each other, and to see how we maneuver those challenges. So, in terms of if you're an international student, you get to know where people buy their food from, some discount opportunities on campus. So, you know that as a student, your IU email actually provides you with student discount, so people share where they are able to purchase things for to get like greater discounts and all that. And we also happen to organize the largest graduate and professional student mixer. And this mixer is where we have all students in graduate and professional programs coming to relieve some stress. So you've gone through the academic calendar and you've gone through a little bit of stress. So just come and have fun. So this is a place where you meet new people, interact, share your experiences. Sometimes you share your research with them as well, and you may get ideas that you never thought of. So that is where collaboration actually starts. So you might have somebody doing something in health, somebody doing something in physics and all that. So how does that interact or how does that intersect? And you get ideas on how to extend your research to other fields. So these are opportunities that you can make good use of. And currently, we are going to have our next birthday party is coming soon, and we'll be inviting people to speak on their experiences and to speak on opportunities after graduation. So this is sometimes a headache for international students, where to find opportunities and all that. And this is an avenue for you to speak to people who have done it before, seen it before, and experienced it. So this is what we do as a students organization to provide support to each other, and it helps in our journey as students. Yeah.
Hear, hear. Well said. We are coming close to the end of our time today. So as we begin to wrap up, I'll have one final question to share with you both. But in the meantime, for anyone joining us today, please be sure to stay connected. I'll drop the email address one more time in the chat, and we'd love to hear from you if you have any specific program questions, questions about life in Indianapolis. Reach out, and we'll be happy to help with that. So our final question today, gentlemen, what advice do you have for someone who's planning to apply for graduate programs at IU Indy? How can their applications stand out? And then for high school students on the call, how can they prepare and be successful here on campus?
Yeah, for grad students, I would say, have passion about what you want to do, know what you want to do, and then have the passion for it, and put together a strong statement of interest. Because for me in particular, if I'm, bringing in a student, that is the first thing I read. I look at that to see whether your passion and your research interest matches mine, so that when you come in, we are a match and not a mismatch. Right, so I tend to look at your statement of interest and your research statement really closely. I also tend to, I don't know, for some reason, concentrate a lot on letters of recommendation. So if you get in letters of recommendation, make sure you get people who write the truth or the right things, right? But I'm not saying go and look for people who, say things that are not even true. But letters of recommendation helps with, your application very, very, very much, because we want to see similar things that our colleagues have, seen about you. So yeah, these two, very, very important. And then make sure you get your application in and get, what do we call it, a reply email that says application submitted, because we've had situation here where we've had students thinking they've applied, but in reality, the application got stuck and never got submitted. So always look out for that short email telling you that application has been received, and apply on time. Very, very important.
All right.
So, yes, Martin, over to you.
Say something shortly. As a graduate student as well, always make sure it's good to reach out to potential supervisors as well to see if you fit in their lab and to see if they are accepting students. It really helps so that you don't pay application fees that you could have used the money for something else. So always make sure you reach out to potential supervisors. And LinkedIn and other social media platforms are a great way to reach out to them to see what they are doing, and their emails as well. But with a social media platform, it's just to build a connection with them, and you follow up with professional emails, like emails that are well written, and you start from there. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you both again. We have reached our time today, but we hope that folks will still connect with us after the call. We'd love to hear from you. But that's all the time we have for today's Inside IU Global Indy webinar. Huge thank you again to our colleagues and speakers from the School of Science. Thank you both so very much. And thanks to everyone who joined us today. Please join us in March as we learn a little bit more about the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing, and Engineering. Until then, bye.
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 Yeah.